Hey, this is Wolf from Armoury-Terrain, and you haven't seen much of me recently because I've been really sick in bed for a couple of weeks. But I'm back, and finding that my camera dumped most of the footage from the last couple of videos before I got sick, I'm starting again. So today I'm building a rehearsal sword for a local theatre company. Now, this is just the sword that they're going to use in the weeks of rehearsal leading up to the show. It's not the sword they're going to use on stage, but it's a pretty close stand-in for it. The reason for this is I'm lending them one of my better swords for the production, and I don't want it floating around the theatre for weeks and weeks beforehand and having anybody that has access to the props room go in, swing it around, chop it up, do horrible things to it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make this sword. Yes, it's very rough and a little bit crooked, but it's shiny and it will allow the choreography to be set properly around what they're doing. Now, somebody else that makes swords is Jadbeko Props. Now, I know I just mangled that word, Jadbeko. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, he's an upcoming prop maker from rural South Africa, and he's having to do stuff with basically no resources. He doesn't have a Hobby Lobby to go down to or a Barnes to order silicone and stuff from. But for all of that, he's doing some pretty good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put a couple of videos on cards at the end of this video. Go and have a look at what he's doing. He's only got a small subscriber base, so go and check out Jadbeko Props. The link is in the description, as well as the cards at the end of this video. If you like what I'm doing here on YouTube, you'll probably like what he's doing. And as a new YouTube channel, he could definitely use a couple more subscribers and some views. So yeah, go check him out. And now, I'll show you how I made this mess of a sword. But hey, it works well enough for theatre, for a rehearsal sword. Right, the first step of making the sword is I've grabbed a T-section and I've just trimmed it down on my bandsaw to give me a bit of an angle for the pommel. Now it's important, don't glue this on until after you've flattened the blade to make sure that the blade is in the same dimension or same direction plane as the pommel. Next thing I've done is worked out how big the hand grip needs to be. I've done that by putting one of my big mitts on it, and nobody in the cast has a hand anywhere near my size. So as long as I do it this size or smaller, it should be fine. So what I'm going to do now is heat up the PVC pipe and flatten this part to make the blade. Once it's flat, I'll put a bit of shape on this end of it and I'll show you how it looks. Once you've heated up the PVC and flattened it as best as you can, I've cut a shape on the front here. Now, because it is PVC pipe, you will have an edge, and as you can see by mine, it's not the smoothest and flattest of pieces, but the actors won't be able to kill anybody with this. That's the important part, because actors are silly, and when they use swords on stage, they're okay, but as soon as they get off stage, they start mucking around. And if you have an actual point or a blade, your actors are going to end up putting it through either the scenery or other actors, which you really don't want. Okay, so as you can see, I've shaped it relatively flat all the way down to the handle. We're now going to do the expensive part and put metallic tape on the blade. Yes, I'm doing that before putting the crossguard on. So I'm going to stick the tape on and then tell you how hard it was to do. Alright, I have this really funky metallic tape, which is an absolute pain to put on. It really is. And thanks to me using a 25mm piece of pipe for the wider blade instead of the 20mm, this is 5mm not wide enough to cover it. But hey, I eventually got coverage on the blade, and yes, it is as wrinkly as it looks, but it's a rehearsal sword just for choreography, so I'm not too upset. It's, it is what it is. The crossguard that I've put on it is just 3 layers of foam, 2 layers of floor mat either side, sandwiching a piece of high density 8mm foam, and then wrapped in black electrical tape because, as I said, it's a rehearsal sword. I've got a huge crate of leather offcuts, so while most people would think it's expensive putting a leather grip on this sort of thing, for me it's just more rubbish I'm getting rid of. And then the T-section that I've cut down actually looks not bad wrapped up like this. The final sword will have gems on that side, and it will also have a gem here in the middle of the crossguard or quillion. So yeah, this is a practice sword for theatre. Right, this is Wolf from Armoury-Terrain saying, when you don't have a budget, make what you can for free, and when you do have a budget, go out and make something.